Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is I, your one and only destroyer of worlds. Your worlds. So I am back with another video here today, and I'm gonna be doing a little bit of a reaction on this 10-minute video. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a little bit shorter than that, considering the fact that he answers questions on the second half of his video to customers that want to know about certain things about cars. Well, here's the thing. This certain content creator, known as Scotty Kilmer, started off his rise to fame in my home city of Houston, Texas. Yep, I have lived on this planet for 40 years. And I have known Scotty Kilmer ever since he actually debuted on KHOU 11 News, Houston, Texas. Yep, that's how far I've known this man for like the longest time. And anybody who has any questions about the politics that goes on the automotive industry, about how car makers make their money, about safety options, about even how to fix your freaking car with little to no money, and telling you which cars are garbage, which car makers are garbage, and, how much you should be spending and saving, and which car years you need to be going after when it comes to quality vehicles for the cheapest price. This man, Scotty Kilmer, is the God, the GOAT, the Lord, and oh so mighty King of all vehicle knowledge. Man, I am glazing this person hard. Jesus Christ. Bro, I remember the time when he didn't even wear freaking glasses. Jeez, that's how I've known this man. Oh my god. Anyways, let's see what this man, which I have overglazed now, says about some of the stuff that Donald Trump has done with the whole tariff thing, right?
Well, now the car manufacturers are whining that Trump's tariffs could quickly cut North American auto production by 1/3. Right? So now they're all whining. Oh, if you tariff North America and Canadians and then...
Mind you, he does not give a he does not give a freak about what he says. Everything this man says is gospel, pretty much.
Mexicans, we're going to lose 1/3 of our sales. They claim that the lost production would be 20,000 units per day that they wouldn't be selling now. Even
well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, it does sound like that they're going to lose a lot of, like, ability to, not manufacture cars as much. But then again, let's keep watching this.
If that were the case, it's their own fault. This will destroy our sales and it'll cost people more for their cars and you'll lose American jobs. You know what I have to say about it? You're the swines that put your production down there. Moved it to Mexico. Years ago, moved it to Canada. And you know why it was done? Because it was cheaper to build cars. Originally, it was cheaper to build cars in Canada. And of course, when they started going down to Mexico decades ago, it really got to be cheaper. And they make hundreds of thousands of their vehicles. Ram trucks, Ford trucks, Toyota trucks, GM trucks, down in Mexico every year. Hundreds of thousands of them. They didn't move them down there to be nice. They moved them down there to make them cheaper. Yet, let's scratch our heads. Gee, you look at the price of some of these new trucks. They're $80,000, $90,000. They're not passing the savings on to us, right? They just want to make more money. Now they're whining, you can't tariff. We moved our factories. They don't talk about we're moving our factories, but they did. So, you know, Trump's idea, okay, make them build factories in the United States to make them. Oh, good.
Yeah, I mean, whenever, like, Trump said, okay, let's put factories in America, that's great and all, Okay, so I know I said last, like in my reaction video about the whole Trump address thing, I did mention that the cars made in America were kind of garbage. Well, that's not entirely true. It all depends on where they're made in the States. The vast majority of the time that you get your cars right now are actually from across the border. Now, there is a way to tell that your car is made from Canada or from Mexico, so on and so forth. And to be quite fair, Canada does build their cars, well, our American cars a little bit better than us. But for the most part, the Ford cars and stuff like that, they are built better here in the U.S. And as far as like Dodge heavy V8 cars, like the Dodge Charger and stuff like that, those are good.
Good idea, right? But
Even to a certain extent, even Chevy trucks. But the thing about it is that the American made cars in the United States are really kind of hard to find. They're like a freaking dime a dozen. The vast majority of the trucks and cars that you buy off the lots are not really made in America. You got to look at the sticker inside the door. If you open up the door, there's a sticker that tells you all the information that you need to know. Okay. Thankfully, I have a Ford F-150, which was made here in America. Good to know.
But you think these rich corporations are going to stand for that? They're going to start writing checks real fast so that they don't put a tariff on them, so that they don't have to increase cost of building them. Because, I mean, what's the difference whether they make them for 25% more or they're brought in here and there's a 25% tariff put on them, right? Either way, it costs them more. And all those factories they build down in Mexico for billions of dollars, and they still got ones that aren't even done yet that they're building for future production. Guess what? And then,
what? They're building more factories down in Mexico? What? I thought they were done with that 2 decades ago. What are they doing? Hey, yo!
That money down the toilet because they tried to save money the wrong way. I think it's hilarious that the automakers are whining about it, saying it's going to cost us. Hey, you've been screwing us over by giving us Mexican junk that isn't as well made as the stuff that was made in here. Canada's a different story. The Canadians, if anything, do a better job making cars than America.
Yeah, that is true. Canada does make a better job than than Mexico cars. I mean, don't get me wrong. Mexico does have its strengths and its weaknesses, but you know the biggest weakness is not making good cars. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check your cars and your labels and your doors, and see if your car was made in Mexico. If your car was made in Mexico, you suck. Trust me, there's plenty of Dodge Chargers that are made in Mexico.
Americans do. They do a great job. That's a completely different scenario. But they don't make the large amount of vehicles that we buy like they do in Mexico. Most of the stuff comes from Mexico. And it's just too bad if you don't like the little tariff that ruins your let's rip everybody off and move the jobs, and let's just rip everybody off with expensive vehicles but make them cheaper in Mexico because we can make more profit for ourselves. Well, too bad, isn't it? Now, if you're wondering how those import tariffs might affect cars, here's something you probably don't know about. There are so many imported parts on vehicles these days, it would make your head spin. And even if they're not put together in Mexico.
That is true. That is true. A lot of the parts, especially since they did the EPA things back in the early 2000s, a lot of the chipsets, computer mechanics, and stuff like that are in today's trucks, even the whole EcoBoost system was kind of like parts made from China, from Taiwan. I think there were some parts, I could be wrong, but some from the UK, I think. I can't remember.
Mexico. Parts come there and then they're put together. For example, on a Chevy Silverado, listen to this. A supercharger, made in Mexico. Brake system, made in Mexico. The stabilizer for the brake system, made in Mexico. The exhaust, made in Mexico. And GPS systems are made in China. The power steering, made in Mexico. The door trim panel and other body parts, made in Mexico. The shock absorbers, made in Mexico. And it goes on and on and on. These parts come from all over the place because GM is a big believer in, let's make them as cheap as we can, and we don't care if we can farm them out, it's cheaper. Why should we make shock absorbers? We can get them from Mexico.
Shock absorbers? Well, I mean, we don't have to worry about Ford trucks, really. I mean, I don't have to worry about my Ford truck. Basically, I don't think so. Maybe I have to look and see where my parts came from.
A lot cheaper made down there. Quite a few of the American trucks are made in Mexico. Hundreds of thousands of them have been made in Mexico. Same thing with Ford. Same thing with Dodge, Ram, Stellantis, whatever you want to call them, right? Toyota.
Dodge is disgusting. Honestly, I never want to buy a Dodge or a Chevrolet. I'm very hesitant on buying like cars from Dodge or Chrysler. Chrysler's the dog shit kind of vehicle, and Chevrolet is too. Like there was a number of years where Chevrolet was just damn, bro.
Now makes all of their Tacomas in Mexico that they sell in the United States. So if there is a tariff on this stuff, it's insidious. I mean, it just creeps in everywhere because these companies, they're buying stuff from all over the world to save money building them. Maybe a tariff thing would be a good idea to implement. Now we all know a lot of it's just threats and nothing ever becomes of it. For any length of time, they rattle people's cages and then see what kind of a deal they can get, right? But if you didn't know, the next time you look at a brand new car, in the United States, by law, they got a list in all the American vehicles of where the parts came from. I had a guy bring me a new Ford the other day, and it had parts from all over the world. It'd say like 58% from the United States and Canada. Then it would say so much from Mexico, some from Taiwan, some from the Philippines. And then they had one that was others. That was like 12.
Oh. Ha! The 3.5 liter EcoBoost power plant is produced in Mexico. I got lucky. I got the 5.0. Jesus Christ, I got lucky. Oh, okay. So the vast majority of my truck is just like, okay, so mine pretty much was made in the F650, the B150, and the 6.7 liter Power Stroke diesel engine. Oh, so anything diesel is made in Mexico. The Mustang Mach-E was made in Mexico. Damn, dude. Wait, what? Oh, cool. I'm safe. So Ford moved medium-duty truck production out of Mexico to its Avon Lake, Ohio. I think mine is considered medium duty. Up to medium duty, right? Yeah, up to medium duty. So it's like the F250s, not the F350s. The it sounds like the F350s are still in Mexico. Okay. Ew, no. Stop promoting look, here's the thing. Edmunds is garbage. Whoa! 2023 F-150 is 30% American? Oh, shit. Okay, I gotta look into this.
12% others, they were smaller, so they didn't have to list them all, but they come from everywhere. I think it's stupid because, what do they say? The chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So if you're buying crap from overseas and that's the weakest link and it breaks on your vehicle, there goes your vehicle because you decided to save a few dollars building them, even though you didn't lower the price to us consumers, and down goes the whole vehicle because you bought a cheap part. Now here's one I gotta laugh my rear end off. The title is Toyota and Lexus lose their reliability crown to a worthy rival. And according to them, the worthy rival is Subaru. Now this was based on data from Consumer Reports.
What?
And let me tell you something. Those idiots don't know what they're talking about. Because I'm looking at it right now, and they based it on data, supposedly of 300,000 vehicles from 2000 to 2025. Well, let me tell you something, people. If you know anything about Subarus from 2000 to 2025,
they're pieces of shit.
They've had so many problems. Engines blowing up, transmissions going out. They make them cheaper. They don't use gaskets in a lot of places. They use air-dried RTV silicone glue. And
What?
then when they get a little older, the glue dries out, they leak. And many of the Subaru boxer engines, you got to pull the engine out to change it. Spend a whole bunch of money because they're leaking.
They don't weld them, they glue them.
Wouldn't be leaking, or a Lexus wouldn't be leaking because they use regular gaskets. They don't have a problem with that, right? That's crazy. Something goes wrong, you want to see if it's going wrong, right? Now, anybody can say that they're reliable. Reliability is such a subjective thing in many cases. And in this case, these guys don't know what they're talking about. Subaru wouldn't have been the company that I picked, not in the least by the problems that I see from them. I would have picked Honda over Subaru for sure. You know?
Hell yeah.
Those Consumer Reports companies, I don't know who's writing for them, what they really know. They're obviously not mechanics, because any mechanic would tell you that's a bunch of malarkey. That Subaru aren't the new dependable cars. They just aren't. I've even seen some.
I have had so many people come up to me and my Ford pickup. I've had mechanics actually just like it's like having a Ford pickup is like a magnet. It's a wet dream for mechanics, especially my truck. It's a freaking wet dream. Look, here's the thing. They'll even give me, discounts. They're salivating. Honestly, these mechanics would give up sex just to work on my truck. Because it's so damn good.
Some of these Consumer Reports that they write Chrysler and even sometimes Land Rover as good vehicles.
Land Rover.
You can't listen to those. You got to find a mechanic like me, somebody who understands it, who's been around long enough to see here's what's true and here's what's not, and that isn't getting paid to do advertising. I don't do paid advertising, so I don't have to tell any lies to you. I just tell you what I see as a mechanic and what I see from my customers and from all you viewers, the problems you have. And let me tell you, Subaru is not more reliable. Well, it looks like the handwriting's starting to get on the wall for old Tesla. Tesla's sales in China from February to February
Elon Musk
were
is about
down
to get roasted.
49.2%. Now, some people are saying, well, this is just an oddity because it's the Chinese New Year. They're on vacation. They're not buying cars. But Tesla's Chinese competitor, BYD, they're electric cars. Okay? During that same period of time, they had a 90.4% increase in sales. So they can't blame Tesla's drop on, it's the new year. People aren't buying them. They went down 49%, and BYD electric cars went up 90%. So you can't even say that it's not people that are accepting electric cars, which they seem to accept more in China, but they're not accepting the Tesla. They're accepting their own electric cars, the BYDs. So Tesla's starting to get in some deep doo-doo here in the United States. The Cybertruck's been a massive, and Elon with his right wing stuff, he's been getting flack. So a lot of the people that were into electric cars tended to be left wingers anyways. No, they don't.
I have heard so many problems from freaking from the Tesla Cybertruck. Oh my god, it's ungodly. Sure, it looks cool, but damn, dude. Bro, if the Tesla Model S wasn't something to worry about, oh my god, I can only imagine what the Cybertrucks are gonna push through. There's a Cybertruck around my neighborhood. There's somebody who owns a Cybertruck. Every once in a while, they pop it out on the streets, and when I go shopping, it's there. Like at the grocery store, it's there. But every time I see that Tesla Cybertruck, I was like saying, I feel sorry for this person because they're gonna regret it totally.
don't like it, so they're not buying his cars. But you can't blame it on that, because the Chinese are communists, theoretically, anyways. And they're slowing down buying his, and they're buying their own stuff. Things aren't looking all rosy for Tesla now. Even the Chinese...
Wait, even the Chinese don't want Elon Musk's car? I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Wait, you're talking about the Chinese, the people who can't build proper housing, don't even want Elon Musk's cars. What the fuck? This is too much.
So like electric cars aren't buying them or buying their own. They're in problems. That bloated stock is going to start coming down like it should have in the first place. There's no way that company is worth the money that it was supposed to be worth. A lot of their profit was selling carbon capture crap. A lot of their profit was from Bitcoin because Tesla, the company, bought a bunch of Bitcoin. Didn't have anything to do with actually making cars and making a profit.
Bitcoin?
Well, don't worry about a self-driving cruise or other.
They're in it with what's it called, Logan Paul? Oh my god. Oh my god. Even he knows. Even he knows. Oh my god. Even Scotty knows. What the frick? This is too much.
Their self-driving car running into you while you're driving down the road, you better watch out for Maserati, because they have an AI-driven supercar that shattered the speed record for self-driven cars. There's nobody driving it. It went 197.7 miles per hour on the strip where the space shuttle used to land. Maserati itself is in deep trouble. They've been in trouble for a long time, these exotic cars that they don't sell that many of them. Being an Italian company, the quality isn't all that great on those things. Almost 200 miles an hour. It's a good thing they're doing it on test tracks, because I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that stuff when something goes wrong. You know, as per usual, guys with companies like Maserati, they got to brag about speed, totally unusable speed. You can't drive that anywhere. It's unsafe speed to drive on the streets, right? These things should be limited to track use only if it really made sense. You shouldn't even be able to drive those things on the street. If they can go that fast, they can create a lot of problems, right? So maybe not such a smart idea to make them go so fast, but Maserati had one driving itself go that fast, and as of yet they haven't smashed it up. Of course, it's a very short track, so they haven't done a lot of mileage long distance testing with it yet either.
Yeah, how long are they gonna last? Like, even supercars, they have a lower lifespan. Have you guys ever seen what is it called? Jack Doherty's car, the Huracan that he drove. Yeah, cars like that don't even go past even. He'd be lucky if he could get it 50,000 miles. But typically it's like anywhere between 30 to 40,000 miles, and they just start going. They just flat out just break down. Look, here's the thing. The turbochargers just decimate the engine. That's what it is. The turbochargers, Jesus Christ, that is the one thing that destroys the engine. Typically, naturally aspirated engines last a lot longer. Like if you put in a what is it called, a racing air filter and a racing muffler, fine, that's good. That's all you really need. It'll jump up like maybe 20-30 horsepower, maybe, depending on the size of the engine. But more than that, we're all good. So I have to ask anybody who owns a vehicle that made from Elon Musk, how is that coming along? Leave your hate comment in the comment section down below. Thank you, and have a great day.